Namaskar, this is Dada Rainjitananda. Welcome to our course on the Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata according to Tantra. Today we are moving into the lesson 8. We are moving towards the end of the course. We only have today and 2 more, 8, 9, 10. So welcome to today's class. And in this lesson 8, we are going to go through the explanation of some important verses or shlokas from the Gita. Not that many, one today, plus we are going to talk about the meaning of Bhaga and its attributes. We are going to go a little bit deeper into the Bhaga, the idea and the meaning of Bhaga and the various attributes. So that's what we are going to do today. The shloka that we will concentrate today is the 4th chapter, the number 8. Just to remind that you can ask questions through the chat window. And you can communicate with me also through the chat window if you want to share something. I keep an eye on it. I can't guarantee to see all the time, but most of the time I see whatever you write. In this shloka 4.8, this one, Krishna is talking. What is Krishna saying here? He's saying, I incarnate myself in this world, the world we live, from age to age, for the protection of the virtuous people, destruction of the wicked, restoration of Dharma. But let's look at the various words. So the first word here is paritranaya, or the first sentence, or the first sentence of the shloka, paritranaya sadhunam. If we understand the Sanskrit words, we can understand the meaning of that philosophical point. It doesn't mean that we have to be scholars in Sanskrit, but we are just making an effort to understand what that very concise philosophical poem is telling us. Trana means relief, and paritrana means permanent relief. So for permanent relief, so here Krishna is coming to provide permanent relief, not just temporary. Temporary relief, suppose somebody is hungry, you give them a meal. They eat it, they are temporarily relieved from their hunger, but after some time it will come again. But if you, let's say, give that individual, teach that individual how he can get his food, then you are helping him or her in a more permanent basis. In this case here of the shloka, the first word was this paritrana. It means for the permanent relief of who? Of paritranaya sadhunam, of the sadhus. It's this word sadhu is kind of common nowadays. People use this word, especially people who go to India and they see some people walking like they have renounced the world and they call them sadhus. But what is the real meaning of a sadhu? It is a person whose actions benefit other people physically, psychically, and spiritually. So one individual whose actions benefit others in the 3 spheres of life, physical, mental, spiritual, that individual can be considered a sadhu. So we shouldn't just call anybody a sadhu. We should see the actions of the individual. So one become a sadhu not by the way they dress or by the way they look, but by the way they act. And their actions should benefit everyone in the three spheres of life. So should do things that benefit others. That's a sadhu. So paritranaya sadhu, for the relief of these sadhus, for the relief of these saintly people, of these good people. Then comes the second sentence of the verse, vinashaya cha duskritam. The first word is vinasha. So nasha means when you return one object to its cause. It means the object came into being and now you return it to before it existed, so it doesn't exist anymore. You are basically destroying it. That means to return it to its cause. It means there was a cause and the cause created an effect, and now I return this to the cause. It means I return the object to the cause. It means it doesn't exist anymore. In vinasha, the V means that it will not come again. It's kind of permanent. So vinashaya, returning it to its cause and it will not come to disturb again. Throw it back to where it came from and it will not disturb again. Vinashaya, what? Cha duskritam. So what is this duskritam? Duskritam are, in short, the wicked people. The wicked people, or sinners, let's use this word sinners, the sinners. And in Sanskrit, a sinner or a wicked person is called a pataki. And a pataki, one can become pataki by commission or by omission. It means by doing something or by not doing it. So sometimes somebody does bad things, but somebody may not do good things, and that is also a sin, let's say. I remember this quote by Martin Luther King that I think is Martin Luther King, if my memory is still fresh, in where he says that one will not remember the words of one's enemy, but the silence of one's friends. It means the friends, their omission, they didn't do anything. So that is also a sin. So the duskritam are the wicked people. Therefore, paritranaya sadhunam, for the relief of the sadhus, of the good people, vinashaya cha duskritam, for the destruction or sending these wicked people back to their origin, to their cause. So vinashaya, permanently, of the duskritam, of the wicked people. Now we understand the two first sentences of the shloka. Then the next one is dharma samstapana plus the artha, samstapana artha. So there is, in the middle, there is this word samstapana. What it means. It's the samstapana of dharma. Now, every object has a certain standard. So dharma has a certain standard. When it goes down, then we have to bring it back to its standard. So here the samstapana means it's bringing the Dharma back to its original status, to the real status, because it has fallen down. And not only bringing it back to its status, but making sure that it's properly brought back and it is remaining there. So for that samstapana of the Dharma, what happens, or what sambhavami? And this sambhavami is to be born. So now, who is saying sambhavami? Krishna. So Krishna is saying, I am born, so I come. And because it's Krishna himself coming, that's a full manifestation of the cosmic entity of the Supreme Personality. So that in philosophy is called Taraka. Brahma. Brahma is like the Supreme Entity, and this Taraka Brahma is the Supreme Entity in that form, coming here to do what? To give relief to the sadhus, destroy the wicked people, restore the Dharma to its original status, make sure Dharma is remaining there and was properly restored. And when Krishna, sambhavami, it means he takes this form in the world of ours. He will be living in the world. It means he has a physical body. He may get sick, he gets tired, he does actions. But at the same time, he remains connected with the Brahma, with the formless, that supreme Brahma. It's a very special manifestation, because at the same time is a human being, at the same time is the cosmic being, and we can have an interaction with him as we interact with other human beings. So that is sambhavami. And the final part of that shloka is juge juge. The translation will be from era to era, from time to time. Now, what is this juga? Juga is not a normal period, normal time. It's a time when values are changing, society is changing, the world is changing, everything is changing, the standards are changing. It's not only changing, but it's radically changing, fastly changing. That is Juga. So Juge, Juge, at the end of a period, at that very special period. When does it happen? When values are going down, means degenerating, because Dharma is going down, so the values are degenerating. People, for example, don't hesitate for corruption, because there is no value anymore. The value is, suppose, how much money I get. So the way I get it the way that I can. So that's why we see in politics lots of corruption. But now a time is coming that it's being exposed, and so things are changing. So when these values are changing, that's the right time. That's when we know that is the end of a yuga. And when the values go down so much that the regular people, like the sadhus, can do nothing, so for the paritranaya of sadhunam, then sambhavami, then Krishna has to come himself, and has to bring a change of thought. Means the thought, the way people think just changes. Why it changes? The cosmic waves are changing it. So that's Juge Juge. What happens? Sambhavami. So this change that happens in that period, a regular, very elevated human being cannot do it. It's everything is so strong. Let's say our dharma is so strong that Krishna has to come, and that's what happens. That's what he's telling in this shloka. And here is a quote from my teacher, Shishyanandamurti. He's saying, a yuga parivartana means a changing age. It's taking place. Means now it's taking place. All of you plunge wholeheartedly into making Sadvipra Samaj, making a spiritual society. So work now to make a spiritual society because this change is there. Do not be indecisive. Do not hesitate. And do not, under any circumstances, feel fear. Your victory is a certainty. At this point, let me ask you a question. Yeah, let me ask you a question. It's just a simple question. Let's see what you would say to this question. Why do you think Krishna chose that particular time to come? Means some thousands of years ago, on that time, that place, why he chose that. See what you think. Just choose an answer, click there, and let us see your opinion. Okay, I'm waiting to get a little bit more people. Okay, I think most people, only a few have not voted yet. All right, it seems there is a unanimous answer here. Okay, the answers were, it just happened in that way as per destiny. Some people think that everything is happening by chance, but there is this cosmic entity that guides everything. Not everything is happening by chance. That's the way our spiritual philosophy describes that this cosmic entity is guiding everything. And what's the scope? What's the goal? The goal is to make everybody reach to self-realization. So that's why this whole drama is happening. Now imagine we are in this life, in this period of time, different things are happening in our life, different things are happening in society. Why all this is happening? Actually, everything is happening for development of every being, so that human beings can move towards realization, that other beings can also evolve. So that's why everything is happening. And if we can kind of understand what's going on, we know better what we should do and how we should act and how we can accelerate our movement. It's like there is a wave, there is a cosmic wave. And just imagine you are in the ocean and the wave is coming. If you catch the wave at the right moment, it can just take you, you can surf that wave and go very far. And so in the same way, if we can perceive this cosmic wave is coming, and we can surf this cosmic wave, we can move very quickly towards our goal, and we can have a nice, great experience. Okay, so that was the question. All right, well, let's continue. Because at that time there were the Pandavas. It's not, I think it's not Krishna came because the Pandavas were there, but basically the Pandavas came because Krishna was coming. So he also brings his people to do his work. It's not he comes because of that, but he determines. Because that place was holy and the time, well, if everything is a cosmic consciousness, everything is an expression of the cosmic consciousness, really, really speaking, there is nowhere that's more holy than another one, because everywhere is holy. Of course, we live in the relative world and under the influence of, let's say, Maya, and we can't see the cosmic consciousness. So maybe there are some places that is easier to see and other places more difficult. Then we can say this is a holy place and this is not a holy place, but really speaking, everywhere is holy. Then the fourth, Adharma was dominant and even saints couldn't do anything. That's why he came, because in normal times, saints, prophets, they can take society ahead and reform, bring Dharma up. But in the hard times, then Krishna needs to come himself. And the last one, because the force of Dharma were strong. He didn't come because the forces were strong so he can use them. He came to make them strong. So that's the idea. So great, everybody got the right answer here. Let's hide this one. So that was kind of the first part of today's presentation. Now we go to the second part. The second part, we're going to go a little bit more into this Bhaga. Why? Krishna manifested himself here. Now he has to do something to implement Dharma, or to bring Dharma, to restore Dharma. How he's going to do it? So he's going to do it because he has Bhaga. Those are his, let's say, weapons, what he's going to use to do his work. So let's understand what is the Bhaga, that Bhagavan, one who has Bhaga. So Krishna came with Bhaga. Now, with Bhaga, he is going to do something to bring Dharma up, to destroy the wicked, reinforce this good people, elevate the good people. He is going to use this Bhaga. There are 6 attributes, 6 things for Bhaga. The number 1 are the occult powers, and there are 8. So it's, in the end, it's not only 6, it's 6 and 1 is 8, so 8 plus 5, 13. It's actually 13 things, 8 plus another 5. I'm not going to cover all of them because in a previous class we have gone through them. I'm just going to emphasize a few, all right? First one, I go direct to number 3, yasha, or reputation. I want to call attention here that when the Supreme Personality manifests, not everybody is going to recognize it. Some people will recognize and will be very devoted to this manifestation, to Krishna, let's say. But other people, they will not see it. In fact, they will criticize it. They will say, oh, this is very bad. So you may come in your even spiritual path that some people will admire you. Oh, great, you are doing this. And some people will think, oh, you are doing very bad. You are really bad. That's not good. Because of ignorance, they cannot see. So they say it's bad. But there are the ignorant, there are the immoral people. Also, you can be a threat to them, to what they are doing, so they will hate you. At the time of Yuga, so Krishna comes, there will be this polarization. That will be the moralists against the moralists. And there will be a conflict. And that the society will be divided in these two camps. That's one of the Bhaga. So how to recognize that Krishna is around, was around, is that this polarization is there. Society is becoming polarized. Another Bhaga is Gyan, spiritual knowledge. Krishna is coming with spiritual knowledge. Why? Because his mind is in the Supreme Entity. His mind is also in the world that we live in, is in both places. So he has the knowledge how to take from one to the next. Means how to take from the world to the spiritual goal. So he has that knowledge. He uses that knowledge with the people. Means guiding the people, bringing the people very quickly from where they are attached to the world to the spiritual goal. So now, if the movement is fast, sometimes can be difficult to adjust. And this spiritual knowledge cannot come from books. How does it come? I mean, you cannot just learn. Even Krishna will teach us, even then we can't learn. You have to experience it. What is spiritual knowledge? Is the knowledge of the ultimate reality of the Supreme. And how you can get that knowledge? You can study, you can listen to this, that, but you have to become one with the Supreme. Then you understand the Supreme. So that unification with the Supreme. So now Krishna is basically the manifestation of the Supreme. So this unification with the Krishna within, we saw that in the previous class, that in the Sahasrara Chakra, that's Krishna. So that unification gives us this spiritual knowledge. So that's another thing. And the other, I'm going to cover the Aishvarya, the 8 occult powers. What are really these occult powers? How Krishna uses these occult powers? First one, anima, become very small. Now, become very small means can enter any physical or mental particle. And so what's the advantage of that? How you enter? It's not that Krishna, his physical body becomes so small and he can enter everything. No, it's a mental thing. These occult powers are mental. So his mind can penetrate anything. By penetrating anything, can understand it. If we want to understand something, we have to penetrate inside it. Then we can know it. If we want to know another mind, we have to penetrate in that mind. If we want to know a body, we have to penetrate in that body. Then we can know it. And that's this anima. So becoming very small, number one. Number two is becoming very big, mahima. Becoming very big, okay, imagine if I go inside by closing my eyes and meditating and go deeper and deeper inside, deeper, then I find Krishna. Now, if I go outside, I expand my mind the whole planet Earth. Now I expand all the universe. And then I can expand to connect with the cosmic entity. And if my mind is expanded, like my mind now covers myself, so I have a lot of love for myself. I don't want my body to get hurt. And if my mind is a little bit expanded, my body and also my property, my family, so I cover all this, then I feel I want to protect, to give everything to my family. But if I expand to the whole universe or the whole planet even, then I will love the whole planet and all the beings in the planet or all the beings in the universe. So Krishna had that love for everyone. So he cannot favor anybody. Even if somebody is very bad, he cannot just favor the good people. He has to help the good and he has to elevate the bad. So that's why the word used there is vinashaya duskritam. There is a cause that caused that individual to be bad. So now returning it to the cause, it means it's removing the evil of that individual. So it's also making that one liberated. So he liberates the good and liberates the bad also. That's the interesting thing. Okay, so this Mahima is that you expand the mind. Now, when you expand your mind, it touches all the minds that are around you. So you can understand that those minds and what you think can influence those minds. So if you have benevolent thoughts and your mind is very expanded, other people will receive those vibrations and they will also start having benevolent thoughts. So in that way, just we doing our meditation, having benevolent thoughts, it can spread to other people also. Of course, don't expect that to be immediately, and we need a very powerful mind to be stronger than the other minds so that we can influence the other minds. Anyway, so if that's the Mahima. So Anima, becoming very small. Mahima becomes very big. Laghima, become very light. If my body is very light, maybe I can fly, but I can take the airplane. I don't need really to be flying around unless there is such a situation. So this power, let's look at it in the mind. If the mind is light, a heavy mind, you can't think of anything. You are just closed within yourself. But a light mind, then if your mind is light, you can look and understand the mind of others. You can study others' mind. If you can study others' mind, you know how they think, then you can guide them in the proper way. So that's Laghima. Anima, Mahima, Laghima, Prapti. Prapti, to get any desired object. You can imagine that only developed people should have this power, because if undeveloped people have it, you'll be desiring so many objects and you'll be covered with all these objects. So that is very degenerating. Therefore, this prapti, Krishna used to obtain whatever objects he needed for his drama in the Mahabharata. Next one is ishitva, to control, guide others. Mainly can be used, for example, to remove psychic problems. Today, there are many psychic diseases, how to resolve them. And also to bring welfare in the physical and in the psychic spheres. So that is this power to control other minds. So Krishna had this power. He, by controlling other minds, he made them do different actions, and those actions resulted in what happened in the Mahabharata, that it ended up with the victory of Dharma. Next one is Vashitva. Dominate psychically. Some people have defective thinking, defective ideas. So how to guide them towards the supreme realization? So that needs Vashitva. Dominate that mind and guide that mind towards the supreme greatness. So that is Vashitva. Next is Prakamya. Materialize the desired results of events. That Krishna used in the whole Mahabharata, because so many events happen in the Mahabharata, but in the end, it was what he wanted. So that was this Prakamya. It's a very deep, strong power. The last one is Antaramitva. And this is like to be omniscient, to know all the thought waves and all the needs of every entity. Now imagine, with this Antaramitva, he has to balance the whole, because by understanding all the entities and what to do that will benefit all the entities. And that's needed, this Antaramitva. Those are the 8 occult powers. So this much I will say about the Bhaga now. And what it helps to understand in the Mahabharata, this knowledge, is that then you see what powers Krishna was using to create this whole drama. So Dharma was down, so Krishna had to come. Now he came. At the time he comes, he brings his people, because he's not going to do everything. It's a drama. He has to involve different characters, the good ones and the evil ones, and he will support the sadhu, means the good ones, and against the evil ones, and he'll create the whole drama. He will see how the events develop, how everything is a teaching at the same time. This whole drama is also to teach us, at the same time to establish Dharma, and at the same time to elevate the people spiritually. So all this is happening, and it's not only for a few people, it means everyone who is involved is being elevated. Even the people who are wicked, die in the battle, they're also being elevated. Everybody is being taken towards the Supreme. Because he cannot discriminate and leave people out, because everybody belongs to him. So that's the idea. So this is the 8 occult powers that he had to use, plus the other 5 bhagas. All this he used. And you can understand how it happens if you watch the whole drama. Okay. That was mainly the presentation today. These 2 parts, that the Sloka. And in that Sloka, what was the main thing is that there are these historical eras. And some people tend to say that they last this number of years, but it's not really like that. It's not measured by the number of years. It's measured by what's happening in the society. So there is a transition from one phase to another. So when there is a transition, values are changing. And we can see that the society we are living today, things are changing quite quickly. For example, technology. Technology is changing very quickly. And not only that, social networks. Social networks now, let's say, billions of people are connected to each other. We may think, for example, oh, capitalist system, they are using this, that. But the fact is that all these minds are being connected in a certain way. And so things are changing. Something that happens in one place, everybody comes to know. Means something happens, some remote village, and somebody put on Twitter, it can be known in the whole world. And if it goes viral, millions of people will see, and then there will be manifestations, actions, and things like that. So this never happened like that before. So it's so much change. And in the past, the older people used to be those holding the knowledge, and now they will teach the younger people. But nowadays, knowledge is, everything is on, can be searched, one can have lots of knowledge, and even the older people have less capacity to use this technology, so they may be even behind. They may have to learn from the younger people instead of the younger people learning from the older people. So it's big changes happening. So that shloka, that when there is this kind of time and it's a critical moment, changing values, Krishna gave his guarantee, his guarantee, Sambhavami, I manifest myself. It means even if we think, oh, everything is going bad, there is this war, that war, maybe there will be nuclear war and this and that, and one can become very fearful and negative. But now we have assurance. Krishna says, I manifest myself, I will restore Dharma. Therefore, nothing to fear. How he's going to do it? He's going to use Bhaga and create a whole drama. While in those days of Krishna, the drama included that whole area, means India and all those neighboring countries, because there was some communication there. Now it can include the whole planet because there is communication towards the whole planet. So it could be that the whole planet is going through some drama, which is maybe some kind of Mahabharata, maybe not a war, maybe different, or maybe some wars, different little wars, or different things are happening. But the main war today maybe is in ideas or philosophies or ideologies. One ideology clashing with another ideology, and which one is going to win in the end. Okay, so that is a little bit the summary of today's presentation. And we have time for your questions or comments if you have anything to ask, or if you would like to share anything. Let's see here. Okay, so that's it. So you can write on your chat window if there is any question. We have a few minutes more. Otherwise, I don't see so many questions coming here. We could give you a few moments to think about it. Otherwise, I close for tonight. Okay, one question here. What are the signs that there is a change in era? It's not that there are some very evident signs, but as I mentioned just a few moments ago, is that there is this change of values. So in those days of Krishna, what was the situation? The Kauravas they took over the kingdom from the Pandavas. And the Pandavas, they used to rule in a very benevolent way. But when the Kauravas took over, they were ruling in a very, let's say, malevolent way. So if the king is malevolent, then it means everybody else will look at the king and will start doing the same. So the values were degenerating. While before was a value to be honest, now the value changed. It's not to be honest anymore, but to dominate. So there was this big change. And therefore, and Dharma means the Pandavas were dharmic in the sense that their way of ruling was also towards Dharma, encouraging Dharma. But when the Kauravas took over, it was the opposite. So the Dharma was losing and Adharma was taking over completely. And that you can see by the story of the Mahabharata, that the Pandavas lost everything and the Kauravas were dominating everything. Even the Pandavas had to go away and disappear for a number of years. And the Kauravas were ruling. So there was this big change. And that was a change of era, because it was kind of going a certain way and suddenly everything starts becoming bad. So the values were changing. Now Krishna had to come to bring Dharma back. So that is, those are like the signs. So when things are really, seem like everything's going so bad, so it needs something to bring it back, to bring Dharma back. And that's the change of times. It's not that we count the years. All right. Okay, so that was the question. And that's the only question so far. Okay, so then let me end the presentation for today. You will get the video. And thank you very much for taking the time to participate. It's always nice that you participate live. It also gives more life to the class. And I think if one has the time, participating live is good. Thank you. Namaskar.